Hi, I'm Kate. I'm the Volunteer Services Coordinator at the Trenton Military Family Resource Center. I also do children's events and website management as well. Well, thank you guys for having me. I truly appreciate the opportunity to join you guys in talking about fundraising ideas for the Child Care Department. I was going to be having a coworker helping me out with this, as she and I usually work fairly close together. But she's unfortunately away ill today, so if you have any questions that I'm unable to answer, you can either email me after, or we can chat about it as we go. On your right-hand side, there's the little squiggly line, your left-hand side, and it's called the annotation. So if you click on that, you'll find a pointer, the top arrow on the left-hand side. And you can click on the screen and it'll show up on your name and everything like that. So this way I can, get to know some of the things that you guys have been doing and what is helpful for you guys as well. And I know where to kind of talk about through that as well. So I'm not sure if that will show up.
I see your arrow.
Yeah. And there's also a text box there too, so you guys can write in your location and your successful events. And if it's not working, then we can always just do it in the chat as well.
Colleen, do you see the little squiggly line? Naomi?
Yes, I do. It's
okay,
Naomi from Montreal. I do see, but I cannot write in it, so I'll just write in the chat.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay.
So yeah, this is just some successful events that you guys have done within your organization to raise money or fundraise money for the Child Care Department. And then just maybe a little note on why you think it was successful, what made it successful.
Do you want to give us an example, Kate, of one that you
guys
have?
So my next slide here will be going into a little bit more of what some of the ones that we've done here that we found that were fairly successful. So I'll just go on to the next one now. So we have done a wreath raffle every year around Christmas time. And with that, we kind of connect with either local organizations, or we connect with sometimes big corporate ones, but not too often, as it's a little bit harder. So with the wreath raffle, we create a wreath and we put gift cards on it, and then we do a raffle where people can buy tickets, say 3 for $5, or 5 for $10, or whatever it is that works out the best. And then we kind of put it up in our reception, and people can look at it on there and come and see it, and put money into buy their tickets that way. And then when all is said and done, then the funding goes towards the daycare, and then they can use it for supplies, or they can use it towards new books, or whatever it is that they may need at that time. So some of the kind of key messages that I wanted to kind of put across is when you're asking for donation requests, there's about 3 things that you usually consider when you're completing the ask. So maybe connecting with local organizations, so asking to speak with the owner or the manager. Corporate organizations may donate, but again, sometimes they may be limited to what they can offer, as they have a specific donation limit that they can provide within a year, or they may have a specific process that they have to follow, which may take more time, and depending on how early in advance that you can start the fundraising process, you may not get it in time for when you are requesting it. So it also gives the opportunity, if you are going to local organizations, to allow clients and families to learn more about what is available to them within their new and existing community. And another one would be, don't ask for large amounts. So don't leave it open-ended when you're asking for an amount that you're hoping to receive. Ask for, maybe a maximum of $25 or $50, and kind of leave that as your max. That way the organizations don't really get overwhelmed and they're unlikely to donate. So what we did was we asked for a gift card for a maximum of $25. And if some more organizations wanted to contribute more, we were more than willing to accept that. But some places we had to purchase the gift cards as we don't supply, or they didn't supply donations such as like the LCBO, or we had an Ultimate Dining gift card and things like that. So when you're also on the phone with them, explain your cause and explain exactly where all the monies are going to be going, so they know who's going to be benefiting from the donations that they provide, and how it's going to be good in the end for their organization to get their name out there. So here is an example of some of the gift cards that we had created. When we put it on the actual wreath itself, we didn't actually put the actual gift card on there. We kind of kept those aside, and then we just created a little kind of makeshift gift card and put that on the wreath, so then people knew exactly what they were buying into. So some of the gift cards that we had last year was we had Giant Tiger, Tim Hortons, Pet Value, LCBO, the Ultimate Dining Card, Chapters, Wanamaker's, which is a local bakery, Boston Pizza, Tommaso's, which is a local Italian restaurant, Mike the Molar is a local dentist, and he donated a prepaid Visa, and Purdy's Chocolatier. So in total, the whole wreath's value was around $350, and there were 588 tickets sold, and we raised $1,170. Our expenses were about $87.40, and that included the wreath materials and the LCBO gift card. So it was pretty successful. People seem to really enjoy it too, because they could actually take the wreath home and put it on their door. And another key message would be probably making sure you keep the promises that you're giving to the organizations. So when you're talking to them on the phone, just letting them know exactly how you're going to repay them for their generosity. So some ideas that you could use are thank you letters, so writing a personalized thank you letter that they can keep for future reference. Charitable tax receipts if they would like one, making sure that you're using the correct logos on either posters or the gift cards. We also created an event page on Facebook, so you could put little thank you posts up onto Facebook as well, kind of regularly, with little fun puns and things to kind of get people's attention, and that way the people also know exactly what they're purchasing and what they're going to be paying for. So this is the wreath on the slide here this is the one that we did last year. So it kind of gives you an example of what they look like, and they change every year. It just depends on the trend of what are people liking, what are they looking for, what are kind of the newer trends that are coming up. So this picture here is what we had posted just on our raffle box at our front desk or at our different locations, as we have 3 locations around us. So then that way each location was able to participate in the event, as well as not just military families, but as well as the civilian families that would come in and use our programs as well. So my last key message would be about the target audience. So when you're creating your fundraiser, think of who your target audience is, who you're trying to reach, so parents or military members, local celebrities, that kind of thing. From that point on, you can kind of link everything else to that, your design, your information, or how you'll portray the information that you want to get across, and also how you're going to provide that personal touch. So for design, when you're trying to show that a fundraiser or event is for children, try using bright colors, cartoon-like images, child-related images such as teddy bears and toys. They're usually always a good way to reach them or their parents. When it is something seasonal, using seasonal colors and images and fonts will get people's attention, as it's really bright and festive. One key rule in the world of design when choosing your font: never use Comic Sans, because it's just really unappealing to the eye and will usually deter participation due to just not looking very professional. For the accurate information piece, if there's any changes there or anything that happen, just make sure that you update the participants, whether it be a social media post or word of mouth through the front desk, or any way that you can kind of get that information out through your organization, just because people like to be in the know. So that's always a good way to keep them updated. For a personal touch, as I said, we created the wreath ourselves. I actually created the wreath this year, but it can depend. It may be another staff member, it may be a volunteer. It just depends on who's able to do it that year. So we researched on what was trending that year for wreath, and some other options are maybe connecting with either the spouses of the military members to see if maybe they'd like to create something, or it could be a win to kind of involve the community just that much more doing it that way. So here was another one where we were going to use our pointer. So if you want to, write it into the chat box or anything, just maybe some challenges if you've tried some fundraising opportunities, and maybe what was difficult, and maybe what we could do next time to kind of ensure that it was successful the next time that you did it. So if you want to put that into the chat box, then you're more than welcome to.
Naomi here, I have Naomi message says we didn't do a fundraising yet for the childhood sector, so that's why this WebEx is super interesting for me. So
awesome.
Probably after this WebEx, Naomi will start doing something fundraising, and then if there are challenges about that, then later will share with us.
Sure. So this is one of the ways that we kind of got the information across to our parents and just to people within our building, was we had a little cubby poster that we created to put into the daycare, the little cubbies that they have for each child. So some different ways that you can get your information out there is printing out posters. We put them around base as well as we put them around our center as well. On social media pages, whether it be an event page or your own personal organization's page, putting the physical copies into the cubbies, posting on, say, CAF Connection or your personal organization's website, keeping up-to-date information at the main reception for people to see, so when they come in they can also see like the wreath, and they can ask the questions just directly to them if, say, one of myself or Amy were unable to answer the questions at that time. And going to different, say, programs, events, things that were happening within the organization, just giving people the opportunity to kind of look at it and learn a little bit more about what it's for and why we're raising the money. So this is one of the other events that we had. It was a literacy event. It lasted about 2 days, and we were able to help raise money for the daycare, and it also allowed parents to buy books for their children. With this fundraiser, we raised over $500 and free books for our child care center, and it was through Usborne Books. We tried the Scholastic books, but we found it wasn't very successful here, so we wanted to kind of change it up a little bit and see what opportunities that we had. So with this event, we had one of our military members come in and read a story to the children, which then the children found that pretty engaging. And then the following day, we had a spouse of a member come in and read the story as well, and they really enjoyed that. We also connected with a woman who has a local organization singing songs and using puppets to kind of engage the kids in learning through music and play, and as well she sang and spoke in French to them, so they also got to learn a little bit more about a second language as well, which was very useful and educational for them. So the other kind of ways that we've done, which I'll just kind of briefly touch on to raise money in our child care department, is we've done chocolate fundraisers. So Purdy's Chocolatier, we do pizza kit fundraisers from Little Caesars, table raffles. So at Christmas time, we do the wreath, but we also do a table raffle where we encourage parents of the children in the daycare to actually that have their own businesses to donate an item from their business to get their name out there, as well as help kind of increase awareness about different people that are in the community as well as their own community to get their items out there. And then you can also look into local fundraisers too, just to kind of bring your community together a little bit more. So it just depends on what you have in your community and what resources there are. So that's pretty much it for me.
Very much, Kate. Thank you. And I have here Naomi saying that we struggle to simplify donations since they are already giving to a lot, but asking a little bit amount would help a lot.
Yeah, and that's what we found too, because there's a lot of places around here where they are very generous throughout the year, but even just that simple kind of putting it like at a minimum amount, $25 or even $50, if they're willing to help out that way, they might be a little bit more willing to donate rather than saying no right away.
That's right. Exactly. So any questions? We have Colin or Naomi. If there is any question, we still have some time. Kate, have you particularly yourself faced any challenges that you think that every fundraiser would face those challenges?
We definitely have our challenges that we face, and I mean we have a similar type of ones where people get kind of tapped out at a certain point because we have a lot of different programs that may be requesting money for fundraising or would you be able to donate this or whatever. So it just kind of we have that struggle too where it's who do we ask, and we don't want to go to the same person too much, and where else what's a different place that maybe we can look into. And so we're always kind of trying to think of what is different and what's going to keep people engaged. And mainly it's just going to different local organizations, and the smaller ones it might be a little bit harder because sometimes they again do have either limited funds to be able to donate any money, but we have those challenges as well as sometimes just getting the word out there too is can be difficult sometimes too.
Naomi saying thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you for attending.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, I guess we don't have any other questions. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today for this WebEx session. Thank you very much, Kate. I appreciate your time, and I know that this was your first time joining WebEx, and I hope the experience wasn't as bad.
No, it was a little scary at first, but I'm okay now.
I really appreciate. So if there's no questions, so we can end this session then.
Okay. Well, thank you again for having me, and I appreciate everybody who attended. And if you guys have any questions, you can always connect to me by email. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I won't take your time anymore. I know it's your lunch time as well. I appreciate it, and I will just download the presentation,
sure.
And then we will put it on our Facebook, and if someone couldn't attend the WebEx can watch or can listen to the presentation later.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice afternoon.
You too. Bye now.